Hello, humans. Master Dinnerflax here, bringing you low quality content you deserve. And today I'm going to be going over Guru Control. Now, these videos might be right next to each other, and that's because I've tested these decks before, but I don't like posting decks that are unrealistically like we don't know when we're gonna get them. I should say. So like Guru Control, we were assuming like Guru would just never come out, or it would come out in dual power. But as it turns out, it's coming out in Savage Strike, which is really nice because Guru Control is surprisingly a good deck. Now, why do I say that? So, what is it? Subterras, the deck that it actually belongs in, are not good because they're based on a whole bunch of level 5 or highers and they don't do much of anything. They're not very proactive. They're usually like field clearing or like field manipulation, and they're just really big, but they not intimidating. Like there's so many issues with Subterras that you can just go on and on and on. But what Guru Control is with the card Subterra Guru, you cut almost every single Subterra big boy, and instead you replace them for three Gurus, a couple of other Subterra monsters, three of the Subterra hand trap, and then just a whole bunch of traps and hand traps. And what does this do? This creates a self-sustaining stun engine, which is actually really good because a lot of stun decks have the issue where they're not self-sustaining. They usually need power draw spells like Pot of Indulgence, Card of Demise, Pot of Desires. Like they need non-searchable ways to keep their engine going, or engine. But like the Subterra's Guru is an engine. And not only is it an engine, but it keeps self-sustaining itself and keeps protecting itself. And it keeps just getting you more and more cards until the point where you've completely grinded out your opponent and you just have so many resources. You have more disruptions than they do cards. And that's how you win with any stun deck. The moment you have more disruptions than your opponent has cards, you've won the duel. So let's get into it. Subterra Guru. When it's flipped up, you search any Subterra card except itself. It also has another effect where it can change a monster to face down defense. Like it changes, like you can change your opponent's stuff. And it's a quick effect if you control another Subterra card. Sorry, it's been a while, but it's also like a quick effect Book of Moon if you control another Subterra, which is really nice because of one of the other cards in here. And we got the hand trap. This can negate anything as long as you control a face-up Subterra, and at the same time you set the Subterra when you use it. So that's really cool. Also searchable, and on the field it also has the utility of setting itself to summon the one big guy we do play. Then Nemesis Archer. It's a really, it's pretty much a, I wouldn't say Mystic Tomato, more of a blue cat, where if it's destroyed at all, it summons anything, any of your deck from your deck. But also it has a really neat utility with Subterra Guru itself, where you just normal summon Archer while you have Guru up. Then you can set their guy, and she has the bonus effect where if she attacks anything in defense, specifically face down defense, she can shuffle it back into the deck, which there's a Lightsworn monster that it's Aaron. It's pretty much Aaron, and because your engine can actually set them, it's really nice. And then finally, for the last Subterra monster, we got whatever this guy's called. And what he does is he's a flip effect that banishes stuff. So it's removal, he's big, and like your field spell sets him over and over again, so you can keep using him. But only one because you don't actually want to draw any of the Subterras outside of Guru, and maybe this if you already have some establishment. And then for the hand traps, 3 Ash, 2 Bell, because I'm not quite sure. This could probably be, what's it called? Ghost Ogre as well. They're kind of on the same power level, except this one stops Called by the Grave, which is nice. Then 3 Impermanence because it's a stun deck. And then triple Hidden City. This is your Trickstar Light Stage, but it also has utilities with actual flip effects. So you can change a face down Subterra to face up. So that means you can normal summon, if you have this, you can go search Guru, set Guru, flip it up, and get to search your Phoenix, and you just set up a free negate. And she'll set it back face down so you can flip it up later. And if anything attacks a set Subterror, you can negate the attack and flip that Subterror face up. So another way to trigger it. Very nice. Triple Called by the Grave. You don't want any of your stuff getting like Ogre or Ashed. You pretty much just want all your stuff to go through until you've got enough cards. And speaking of enough cards, Pot of Indulgence, your extra deck doesn't matter, so you just draw 2. And then double Pot of Duality, very slow deck, very control-based. And besides, you only really want to see your engine. The traps don't really matter because traps are nice and all, but if you're not actually playing the game, it doesn't matter how many traps you have. And double Terraforming to go search Light Stage effectively. And then Final Battle. This card is super bloated. First off, after it resolves, instead of going to the graveyard, it resets itself, which is crazy. But on the field, it can change a set Subterror to attack or defense face up. It can change a face up into face down. It can double the stats of any Subterror. And the final effect is you can keep Subterror cards from being negated this turn. So that's super bloated and a lot of utility. Especially when you have Guru already up. Guru can search this. Like, this is a really nice trap. I don't think you need 3 of it, though, because not only is it searchable, but it resets itself. So, like, seeing more than one when the first one hasn't been destroyed, it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, Final Battle. Solemn Brigade. Warning is probably the worst one in here. It only really stops, like, a handful of spells. But sometimes it is just like having a 4th strike against like Sky Strikers and whatnot. But if you wanted to cut anything to add anything else, I would suggest Warning. It's probably the most cuttable card in here. 3 summon limit. Your summons never go very high. Not only that, I think it's a little better than Goes in Match. Maybe not against like Altergeist, but against Altergeist, you have a whole side for them, so that's fine. But it's decent against Sky Striker, and it's really good against anything not Altergeist or Sky Striker. Like, insane. It's crazy. And then Imperial Order, this pretty much you just win the duel against Sky Striker. None of their cards interact with you anymore. And like I explained, triple permanents. Side deck, up to you. Extra deck literally doesn't matter. You are banishing all of it. You do not care. There's nothing in here you'd ever really want to make. The only fun tip I'll give you is this is the only deck that can actually utilize Borrelguard Dragon. So if you want to just throw that in there for memes, you can do it. But you could put in like 15 vanilla instant fusion targets and you won't miss a single one of them. Just like the extra deck's like super situational because your main deck already searches every out and utility you'd ever want. And if you're in a situation where you need to go into the extra deck, you probably can't go into the extra deck because it's a slow stun deck. So like the extra deck legitimately just, it has to be 15 cards for Indulgence, and that's all that matters. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I can't really find any of my old replays for this. Not to mention, I don't really want to post replays for this because it's a slow stun deck that takes like, yeah, it's a slow stun deck, and I don't usually like making replays for them because they're just so slow and they're so boring to watch. So yep, that's about it. Thank you all for watching, and remember, Master Dinnerflex will take your soul.